What's up, guys? So I decided to make Max Payne updated speedrun guide. I will go through the game as I explain the current route and the strats, as well as some basics for it. So the speedrun has changed quite a lot throughout 2018 until now. So there are a lot of new things. We have Dead Man Walking for part 2 and part 3, which other guides for this game don't cover. So I will try to make this as updated as possible and try to show off what the whole current route of this game is about. So I'm pretty sure that you know that the main speedrun for this game, we capped the frame rate to 30 because that's necessary to perform the main glitch in this game, which is super jumping, which I'm going to be showing. So let's just jump right into it. Part 1 prologue. So the first strat of the game, come into this door and this will trigger a cutscene. If we'll roll in the cutscene, we'll get some forward progress from the door. So come here, pick up the shotgun, and the way that we're going to do the super jump, we have the Beretta equipped. We're going to select the pump action shotgun and do a jump, and hopefully, nope, there we go, we got the super jump. So the way I did the super jump, I switched from one-handed to two-handed weapon, and I didn't get it the first time, but then I switched from two-handed to one-handed weapon and I got it. So you can do it both ways, and in the middle of Max switching from the one-handed to two-handed or two-handed to one-handed, I jumped, and that I performed a super jump. So for Max Payne 1, super jumps are frame perfect, and that's the reason why I have the frame rate capped to 30. So right here we have to do this quickly, but I kind of got stopped explaining. So yeah, we have to do this pretty quickly, otherwise we'll get this cutscene, and we're going to use this cutscene to speed up the end level cutscene. So yeah, of course, do the same. Let's see if I get it first try. Nope. Well, second try. So get through the nursery fast enough. Come here, kill the last guy, and wait for Max. When Max starts saying that, we go back to the nursery, and now we have two cutscenes playing at once, and they kind of jump over each other, if you notice there. And we accelerate this cutscene quite a lot, and that gets us to part 1, chapter 1. So another glitch, if you notice in my key display, I'm spamming F5. So basically what that did,
the train doors had already shut behind
now
I was in for the ride.
I'm save glitched into this cutscene, which is a started level cutscene for part 1, chapter 1. It allows me to control Max during the cutscene, so it gives me control of Max, and now I can move Max and go trigger this other cutscene, which I would be able to do when the level starts. But without further ado,
was in the air at Roscoe Street.
I can move Max and trigger this cutscene right here. So those are pretty useful tricks. You're going to be seeing them in this level again. Save glitching. So we proceed with the level as usual. We skip some of the enemies, and during this level we'll try to get the weapons that we need, which are Desert Eagle and Pump Action Shotgun, which I just got now. Kill some guys there. You might have noticed that I shot at the floor. That was to avoid a glitch. That's called a weapon glitch. The shotgun kind of jams and doesn't let me shoot sometimes. So we can kill 2 of these enemies, and sometimes one of those runs away, and we can just proceed with the level. So now we're going to do the same glitch again as the transit worker opens the door. Just like that.
Home free. This way.
So the fact that I just save glitched into that cutscene allowed me to proceed, kill this guy, and get in here. So this room, yep, you have some ways to do this room.
This way.
You can come in here, kind of just not really avoiding much, just like this. Sometimes it'll work out, sometimes you'll get shot quite a lot. Just proceed with the level. Or you can come in here rolling, kill the enemies, use as much bullet time as you want if you feel that's safe and that you won't die. Or you can just do it with Desert Eagle to be more precise and be a little bit slower. Make sure you don't die. Personally, this is a strat that I use for Dead on Arrival runs because I do need to be safe in here. Dead on Arrival is a pretty hard category. So that said,
The train lit up like a
we have
Christmas
the
tree.
third
Power was
save
back
glitch of the chapter, and what we're gonna do here is trigger the Dead Man Walking glitch. So basically, save glitch into this cutscene as we trigger the train. And now we're in control of Max, and I'm running towards the train, and it's kind of like running me over as this cutscene is playing. And what it will do is it will technically kill me, but
So
since
much
I'm
for
in a
being-
cutscene, it doesn't really kill me, but it gives me all the properties of being dead without actually being dead, which means that enemies won't shoot me, and I can just run past them. So that's the Dead Man Walking glitch, and this glitch will actually last up until Part 1, Chapter 6.
One way or the other.
It's only
I was
useful
gonna
up
find
until Part 1, Chapter 6. Because we, since we're dead, the game doesn't let us quick save, as you see there. And we can't use some of the save glitching that we've been doing before. So yeah, this glitch is pretty useful. We can just technically just run to the end of the level. Things we have to watch out for during this glitch: environmental damage, explosions, and such. Fall damage can also kill us. So we're not invincible, but we're invulnerable to enemies because they just think we're dead, so they don't shoot. So just like that, we just move on. Go do the sort of the objective of this level. Come get the detonators.
The
Place them on the
background was
door.
left their tools on the table. Judging by
They
the
just
detonators, the crooks had
run
left
to the
enough
end of the level.
explosives to send Lady Liberty into orbit.
So all these enemies that I'm killing, you might think it's not really necessary that I kill them. Mostly what I'm doing is I'm collecting ammo as I'm killing them and as I'm running through the level. This will be useful for chapters in which we don't have the Dead Man Walking glitch anymore, and the enemies will actually shoot at me and I will actually have to deal with them. So just like that, you might have noticed I got a grenade from that guy. That's very important. That is something you definitely want to get for a boss fight that we will have in Part 1, Chapter 7. against Vinny Gagnetti. So yeah,
Alex.
the next level, we will see a double shot couch trick. Basically, it's really only useful for that level, and you won't really see it in the rest of the game. But we will have 2 mini bosses that we have to kill, and we will use that couch to do a faster pump shotgun shot that will hopefully kill
There was nothing I
both
could do.
mini bosses pretty
dead.
quickly.
I could tell by the empty accusing
So now we're going to
stare
attempt
in
some
his eyes.
stairs, some super jumps here on the stairs. These 2 are just kind of optimizations. Or these 3. Oh man, I'm getting them. Didn't get that one. This is the important one. So the end of the level is kind of like a plane that goes like here in the end of the stairs. So you can go up the stairs and trigger the end of the level, but the faster way to do it is just super jump. Let's see, just like that, and trigger the end of the level. So you see that I was equipping the pistol and super jumping with the pump shotgun. That is pretty important for this level because we're going to be using the pump shotgun to kill these guys
And then I was dodging bullets
with the
on
double shot
raindrops.
couch trick that I talked about. So the fire rate of the shotgun's pretty slow, but it can be accelerated with the couch, just like this. And it's pretty useful, just like that.
A letter on the desk caught my eye.
So we're gonna get that painkiller from that safe, come to the door, hit the door with the lead pipe to alert the enemies that we're here. Shoot the floor there to alert these enemies too, and they will be kind of just out of the way. And you will notice that for most of the run I'm going to be strafing. This is a slightly faster movement, very slightly faster than running straight forward, but in some places I will opt for running straight forward just because
V-head junkies could go off without a warning.
it seems
I had to
easier.
be careful.
So just proceed with the level, touch that door to open this and shoot the water tank. I wait a little bit before I go into the room there
Diary on the
for the
table.
water tank to fully fall because it can kill you too. So kill those enemies. And that's part 1, chapter 3. So part 1, chapter 4, we have a door skip, and we have some pretty interesting super jumps. So most of the super jumps are just optional time savers, but the last one is kind of like this big time saver. It's definitely part of the route. So shoot the door there. These guys will open it. You can get in this room a little bit early. So here's the first one. Pretty nice. Come here and get the key. Shoot again there to avoid the weapon glitch. Roll into this little mini boss fight that of course you can skip just because you have dead men walking. I like this guy. Get this guy out of my way. Didn't get that one. And here we have the important super jump from this chapter. So the end of the level is kind of like there in the street. So we can do we have different ways of getting there. We can super jump onto this little fence and then drop down there. Or we can super jump from here all the way to the street. Let's see if I get that. It's a much riskier way of doing it, but it's kind of like a faster way. There we go. So that's that. And that's another level done pretty quickly. So part 1, chapter 5, we have the Molotov strat. We have to get some engrams in this level, and we're gonna undo the dead man walking glitch. We're gonna use painkillers to heal Max so that the game doesn't think that we're dead anymore. So the engrams will come in handy for the next few levels. We're gonna use it for Part 1, Chapter 7, 8, and 9.
Another bomb exploded inside the closest slum
More
building.
specifically
It was a
for
lucky break. The goons
two
inside were spooked.
two boss
The
fights that
always came with a price
we'll
tag.
have.
More bombs could still be ticking inside.
That's like the
and
main
cops
use
would
that we'll
already be on their way.
have for the
Jack
engrams.
Lupino's suite was on the top floor. At least
So,
it used to be before the
We already have this
explosive makeover.
painkiller. We're gonna use it. We're gonna get some more later. So the Molotov strat that I talked about.
Depressing read.
You can do this in many ways. You don't really need the Molotovs, but this is the faster way to do it. Get the Molotovs here. And throw it there. And this will launch that explosive that can actually kill you
Explosives.
if you're not careful. So stick to the wall there and you'll be safe. Kill this guy. He has an engram or an Uzi. Come here, shoot the padlock, and
Someone had left a lead.
here you will get the keys and the painkillers. Kill this guy. He has an engram. So here I will stick to the left of the stairs because there's some guy that throws a grenade that's scripted to always be thrown, and that grenade can actually hit Max and kill him. So if you're not careful, that grenade can kill you. So now we've healed, and we will be able to do a save glitch in the next chapter. So just like that, we will go back to spamming F5. Just like that.
The bombs had destroyed all
Sometimes
the
this
stairs.
happens, you can't press F1. Pretty weird.
The alternate route led there by way of a joint
So,
rooftop.
just like that, we have control of Max during this cutscene, and we can attempt the super jump during that cutscene so we can get the super jump before the level even starts. That's pretty good. So just like that, we proceed with the level as usual for now. Oh, that guy killed me. So yeah, it becomes more dangerous now that enemies are actually attacking us, and that things are getting pretty interesting. So just like that, we come here, we do that super jump, and now we have to knock off 2 super jumps. This one's actually kind of optional. You can do it, just like that. But you can actually come here, come around the thing, and go up the stairs and skip that one. And quick save here. And this one's actually, you have to do that one. So you come in this door, we will trigger the end of the level. But if we come to this door normally, nothing will happen, just because we've skipped so many cutscenes that have to be triggered for the level to end. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna quick save into the cutscene, and we're gonna place Max in a specific place so that we can actually proceed with the cutscene, because it's kind of messed up because of course we've just skipped everything by super jumping. So if we just come into the cutscene normally, just like that, this second version of Max is kind of just in the way. But if we move Max a little bit, just like that, hopefully Max is out of the way and we can proceed with the level. So just like that, here, you have some cutscenes here. If you just like go up these little stairs here, there are cutscenes that can soft lock the level, but if you just stand here, it will trigger the end of the level. So you should avoid those cutscenes.
Got needy, hitched a ride.
So just like that,
Follow his
you
lead.
wait here for the train, and that's Fear That Gives Men Wings done. So police brutality, another start of the level save glitch.
When the train
So
he was riding
we
slowed
reload the
down,
cutscene,
Gognitti made his move.
and we're down here, right? So the game will respawn Max on the rooftop, and as soon as we get control of Max again, we will drop down from the rooftop, and that way we will skip about half of the level. So fortunately, you have visual cues to do this. When Vinny turns around here, you start pressing W and spamming spacebar. And just like that, you probably saw Max landing there, the landing animation. We dropped from there to here. So now you have to perform a couple super jumps here to actually get back in bounds. This would be considered out of bounds. So just like that. Also, there's an invisible block here that I missed. You can stand on here. You can actually jump from this invisible block there. This super jump is pretty optional because you can super jump from here, but you can actually just go there, or you just jump here. And there's actually some hidden engram ammo here that you can get, but it's pretty dangerous because you can get shot. So just like that, if you miss a super jump, you'll land here, and you can proceed. So personally, I like to select one single engram to kind of save ammo, kill these guys with a little bit of bullet time. Stand here, and do that jump. I'll select dual pistols there. So you have to kill all those enemies in order to make this skip right here, which is the door skip. It's a pretty convoluted roll, but you have to do it from here. Otherwise, it won't work. Just like this. You can't do it like, I don't know, approaching the door, doing it. Oh, well, it works sometimes, but that's pretty interesting. So if you're late and sometimes you do it incorrectly, you can just end up with the door closed in your face. But just like that, you skip having to go all the way around. So this is one of the first pretty interesting gunfights in the game. You can use as much bullet time as you want for this. The premise is just not dying, because these gunfights aren't easy. So just like that. So if you recall, we got some grenades in the last few chapters. So we're going to put them to use in this boss fight. We're going to throw 2 grenades in 2 alleys in which the henchmen of Vinny Gognitti spawn. So that way we will take care of the henchmen, and it's only Vinny and me. So I can just take out Vinny and the boss fight is over. So throw that grenade in that alley. Quick save, or save glitch. And throw the other grenade there. So just like that. Just me and Vinny. We put the engrams in practice. And that's Vinny Gognitti dealt with. So now Ragnarok. Save glitch. Again. Just like that. So you can choose the deagle here. We're going to be killing 2 enemies.
Like father, like son, just like Jack
Out these guys.
The book had never been a
I'd
bestseller.
like to get these 2 painkillers and the ammo there. So now we're gonna have to do 3 super jumps. These are the last super jump that we're gonna do in this room is I guess, widely considered the harder super jump of the game. Let me see if I can get this one right. So this does require a setup. So if you normally go through Ragnarok, you'll eventually find a room where you shoot a guy, and this guy falls through a trapdoor. This is exactly the trapdoor, and we can super jump through it and skip quite a lot of what Ragnarok is. So basically, a good way to do it without Max being blocked overhead is crouching and attempting to super jump. Just like that. So sometimes let me just go back there. Sometimes you'll set it up wrong from like here, and you probably won't get it because you're being blocked overhead. So personally, what I like to do is find a way to set it up so that I'm not falling down, because I'm not completely on the edge of this, but I'm not being blocked overhead because I'm not setting it up wrong like this. Or so it is good to have it kind of just like not too much in the edge and not too wrong, too much to the right. So just like that. That's super jump. So you can attempt optional super jumps, just kind of time savers. I personally like to kill this guy as I'm walking up the stairs to get some engram ammo there. It's pretty useful for the next boss fight. So now we're gonna come into a room, not this one, but the next one, in which I will have to move pretty fast. This guy, I don't really need to kill him, but... So this next room, you'll have to move pretty fast because the enemies are constantly chasing you, and the enemies will have to get in a certain position before they start firing at you. So as long as you can stay ahead of the enemies, you'll be good. Quick saving in this room isn't very helpful because you'll slow Max down. So quick saving at certain points in which the enemies don't really have a clear shot at you, that's when we want to quick save. So just like that. So I don't stop moving. I don't stop, because the second I stop, the enemies will get a clear shot, and I just want to keep moving. So just like that, drop down here, get a headshot on this guy, open the stage, quickly do a roll, quick save here, and from here we attempt the super jumps. So I didn't get that last one, that one's an optional one, but you just don't stop moving there, because all the enemies, they're just shooting at you constantly. So just like that, knowing that the enemies are not shooting at me and they're not getting shots, I can keep attempting this super jump and just be sure that I will get it without them killing me. And that's, in my opinion, just far more unnerving than just not getting the super jump. So just like that, we got the optional super jump there. We run to the end of the level, Empire of Evil. Another save glitch. This chapter actually loads pretty fast. So just like that,
this was the rotten core of the
we can
Big
just
Apple.
get some forward progress.
Lurked somewhere ahead, like a spider at the center of his
Just
web,
like this.
waiting.
Probably get some super jumps.
The vapors in the air started to make my head swim.
So in this chapter, we have a boss fight, which is, we'll be facing Jack Lupino. So the way that we'll deal with this boss fight pretty easily and pretty quickly, I will super jump to the spawn point of all the enemies that we'll have to deal with before we can deal with Jack Lupino. So that way, the boss fight will be very, very quick, and we won't have to be dodging enemies and just doing all sorts of stuff. So, first thing I'll do...
The vapors in the air started to make my head swim.
First thing I'll do, I'll roll into the cutscene and quick save so I can move during it. Just like this. Come here, do another save here, and attempt this super jump. So you can just reload as many times as you want, and keep attempting it. Just like that. Super jump up here with the engrams already out. And we'll get this. So every enemy that you kill spawns another string of enemies. So kill those guys right there. These are the last few enemies. Take care of them with a shotgun. And now select the engrams and save glitch. This is kind of like the revelation of Filipino. So, just like that, we kill Lupino with very quick dual engram shots. And that's part 1 done. So, part 2, chapter 0, we have another save glitch.
Lisa Punchinello.
And
Lisa Punchinello was the Don's wife.
This is a save glitch that will require you to spam F5 before the cutscene, or before the chapter starts, before this comic strip starts, and after. So we will skip this and keep spamming. And now we have control of Max, full control of Max, during the cutscene, and we can roll. Just like this. So, this takes some practice. Assuming that you already know the way, this is just all practice. So, as you see, I'm rolling. Rolling is not the fastest form of movement normally, but it is during nightmares because rolling is a form of bullet time, and it is the fastest form of bullet time. So, when you're in a chapter in which you're in kind of like endless bullet time, you're all the time just in bullet time, you're in a slow-mo. This is the fastest way to move as opposed to running diagonally or running straight forward. So just like that, we do a couple strats. So basically, I forgot to explain this, but we would normally, let's just go along with the blood trails, blood stains. The end of the door is, the end of the little maze is just right there, so you can just jump in here and jump again, and you'll be at the door. You don't need to do anything else. So I'm gonna perform 4 rolls here, and then quick save and do another roll and save glitch as I do that roll. Now, we're going to do a trick that's very similar to what we did in the first level, part 1, chapter 0, the prologue. We did the nursery trick. So, I will trigger 2 cutscenes at a time. I will trigger that cutscene in Michelle's room, and I will come back here and touch the the baby cradle here. So just like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, quick save here, save glitch, touch the door, take a step back there,
Vaporize them, disintegrate them, no matter what you do, they'll still be there.
and then go back here, touch the baby cradle, and now 2 cutscenes will be triggered at once, and they'll jump over each other, and the level will end a lot quicker. So that was that. That's a pretty good trick. It saves around 10 seconds from intended strats. It's pretty good. So you guys might remember
All I have
this
is my
level for
average
being a
bat,
pretty annoying level.
sticky with my own blood.
You don't have any weapons, any guns,
Without
and you
a
have,
gun, I'd be
you
no
have
match
to
for
deal
Frankie's
with
men. I'd have
armed
to play hide and seek with them.
enemies. So what we'll do, as you know, rolling is a very good way of avoiding shots, incoming shots from enemies. That's exactly what I'll do here. Since I don't really have any weapons, I can't really defend myself. I crouch here, pick up these 2 engrams, and just roll. Come into this room, and I will pick up grenades, engram ammo, do a roll there, kill this guy, and just roll away. So just like that, now we have grenades, and we're going to be using them here because I'm going to perform Dead Man Walking glitch for part 2. Now, this is going to take a little bit of practice. I will show you the setup, the consistent setup for it. But overall, we'll just throw a grenade
Things
to
were
this door
fast going from
that triggers
bad to
this
worse.
cutscene. So, if you look at this floral design here, let me quick save. If you look at this little floral design next to this pillar, you'll see that it has like a little bend there. That's where we want to place Max's foot. So I'll deal with these enemies just to explain. So just to explain, I'll take care of the enemies there. So it has a little bend there, and that's where we want to place Max's right foot. Just like that. So now equip the grenades, and we want to aim there, that little frame. Let me see if I can get it. Just like that. So now we want to start throwing the grenade at the same time we start running. Now we don't want to let go of the left click button until Max has fully charged and thrown the grenade. Just like this. Let's see if I can get it. First try. Now, I didn't get it there because the Max has to flash red. The screen has to flash red for me to know that I got it. Let's see if I can get it now. So yeah, it takes a little bit of practice. It's not pretty easy. Let's see if I can get it. Just like that. The screen flashes red. So that's how we know we got it. So just like that, we do the same thing that we did in part 1, run to the end of the level. So we're gonna use this grenade now. We're gonna open the door as we do the same thing, hold the left mouse button to charge the throw. So that way we will kill the henchman, and then it's just me and Frankie. And that way we will end the boss fight a lot faster. If you miss this, it's like 10 seconds slower. It's a pretty important thing. So as we touch the door, throw the grenade. So we blow up the enemies just like that. Come in with the 2 engrams, fully prepared. Good headshots on Vinny there. So you can go back here and kill this guy with an engram sometimes here. Oh no, I killed him already, right? Because I wanted to explain. But that guy will follow you there, and you can go back and get his engrams. Alright. So just like that, that chapter's done. So we have many super jumps in this level.
But somewhere out there, on the clanking deck of his cargo
So an offer you
freighter,
can't refuse.
the skipper of the K-Ron
First
was waiting.
thing you can do,
like a ferryman in the
do
river
your super jump
Styx.
here, and just proceed. But we can also come here. We can press this button, and it will open this gate so we don't have to do the super jump. But if you prefer to do the super jump,
Cargo
it's
freighter.
completely up to
Skipper
you.
of the K-Ron was waiting,
Just like that.
like the ferryman in the river Styx.
Alright. Normally moving throughout the level. The enemies don't attack. Remember, we have Deadman Walking glitch. So we don't want to accidentally heal because that will remove Deadman Walking glitch. So normally just press the button here. What I like to do is press the button here. The crane will take the box away. We can move on, and I like to shoot that barrel, that explosive barrel, because it can just it's not in the way, so I can move on faster. So press this, shoot the barrel. I turn around here and I pick up the painkillers because these are going to be useful for Angel of Death. Basically, what I like to do, and this is a strat that saves around 15 seconds, 15 to 17 seconds, optimally. I like to get rid of Deadman Walking glitch for the last chapter of part 2, because that way I can do safe glitching strategies and other things. So you can do this in 2 ways. You can just come here. This is kind of like the shorter way, faster way. Come here, but this will require you to do a super jump. So you might want to opt for the other way if you're not really good at super jumps, or you just like to do the other way. So this is kind of like the shorter way you can do it. You can do a little longer way that doesn't require a super jump, just like this. This bridge is already open, so just like this. You can avoid the trigger for that guy, I just forgot. So with rats and oily water, I'll do a super jump here onto this platform. Let's see if I can get it first try. Good. So you can do it there, you can do it just walking, just running along here. So if we open this door, because we're not supposed to walk into this door, this like at this point in the level, this guy's gonna be blocking the door, and we can't really kill him by using guns. So the baseball bat has enough reach to kill him through the door, just like this. I got him there, but okay. So basically, you just hit him with a baseball bat through the door, and you do a super jump here. So now, if you don't get the super jump fast enough, this little platform will come with this enemy here that's supposed to be shooting at you, but of course we have Deadman Walking. So if you're struggling to get the super jump, you can do this. A lot of people don't know this, but you can stand in here and jump here, just like this. And so that makes that super jump completely optional, but of course it's a lot faster to get it. So without too much acceleration, drop down here, because if we come with a lot of acceleration, we can take enough damage to kill Max because we're Deadman Walking mode. So just like that, do a super jump here. The water is not real. A lot of people have asked me this. The water is not real, just like a little effect. So you can just walk on the water. So this is pretty dangerous, because if you just attempt a super jump from here and you fall in there's a death trigger. You can die from that. So you can attempt the super jump from here, but the safest way is just jumping in here and attempting it from here, and you're completely safe. Just like that. So the way of doing this, you you can do this rolling from there, but there's like an invisible wall. So the faster way of doing it, or the better way of doing it, which isn't that much slower and it's a heck of a lot safer. Just roll from here to the boat, skipping all of that. So just like that, killing all the enemies. So this boss fight, usually pretty hard boss fight, but just because we have Dead Man Walking, we just follow this guy. He crouches here, and we shoot his head with the dueling rounds. So in this room, normally you would come and you do like a little rotation around the room and grab all the weapons that you want. In here, we'll just do a little something like this and pick up those guns. All the other guns are not very much necessary. That's all we need. So make sure you don't spend a lot of time in that room. So you might notice that I picked up that it had certain grenade pickups and painkillers. So now I have 8 painkillers, and I will use them in the next chapter. So this is a strat that you can do if you want to be completely optimal with the game, which is kind of like what I go for nowadays.
Actually showing up, but there was no
So
point in hoping.
you can perfectly do Angel of Death with Dead Man Walking. It's around 15 seconds slower. But what I like to do, painkillers here, and for Angel of Death I won't have Dead Man Walking, which means that I can save glitch and do the optimal strat. So yeah, just run along, go along with the level. There is a little shortcut here. Jump in the table here and jump there. You can do the normal way, which is like 4 seconds slower. It's nothing. So here, I'm gonna attempt a super jump. Hopefully I get it. Nope. Well, kill this guy. He has a grenade that I'm gonna use.
Feeling was mutual. He was trying to put out my flames.
This guy's dueling rounds, pretty important.
Lobsters have been guarding
So,
a real treasure. The way out of this disco.
If you come in with a lot of acceleration here, you can die from this. So what I like to do, carefully, press W, and that way it is consistent that Max doesn't die from the fall. So jump in here, and you can attempt super jumps here. Pretty optional ones, but they're nice to get. So coming into this chapter, remember that now that I healed, I won't have Dead Man Walking anymore, so I'll have to deal with the enemies. So just like that, we will do a save glitch. Alright. So now the thing is, I will have a lot of cutscenes that I'll have to keep save glitching on. And as I'm running through the level, I will have to keep quick saving on those cutscenes so I can get control of Max and I can still move and see what I'm doing. So in the last little cutscene, I will equip a grenade that can kill most of the enemies that have been chasing me throughout the level, and I can just move on. So it's a pretty intense strat.
Upstairs,
but just like that,
tango down the manor halls.
Kill these first 2 guys with the snipers.
Hearts. The blood of their victims rust on their
And as I killed the last guy there, spam quick save, keep quick saving into all these cutscenes.
Pilot Providence,
So I've memorized like where the cutscenes trigger, so I can just get it more optimally. So here at the end, we can throw a grenade. Hopefully that kills most of the enemies that are chasing us. Alright, so re-recording this because it wasn't very good in the previous video. So what I'm gonna do now, I've killed all the enemies that were chasing me because sometimes they can survive that grenade, just for demonstration. So what I'm gonna do as I come out of this door, I'm gonna throw a grenade, and then I'm gonna stop at the door and throw 2 more grenades, and that should be enough for killing the 3 enemies that we have to kill. also the mini boss. And what you will see me do after throwing the last grenade, I'll run for some painkillers, and I'll be spamming E to spam the death animation that we get after killing them. So let me see if I get it. So as I run at the door, let me try again. Throw that grenade, wait at the door, throw 2 more grenades,
My fortune.
skip that death animation. So now we have to get the super jump, and I go here at this door because we have to trigger this so that this last mini boss right here triggers. So now, as soon as we touch this door, save glitch. So, assuming you've done that pretty fast, because if we want to avoid this last enemy, we have to do it somewhat fast, because this enemy can sometimes be blocking the door. It's not really that big of a deal because you can kill him, but now what we're gonna do after save glitching into this last cutscene, we're gonna roll out of this kind of. We can skip this whole sequence by just rolling out of the room, and we're gonna do another save glitch so that we can gain Max's camera again, control of Max's camera again. So just like this. Place yourself here at the door, and you end the level. So that was that. So that was part 2. Pretty interesting. So part 3 prologue, right off the bat, save glitch at the start of the level. So just like that. As the level starts, we start rolling. So I trigger bullet time sometimes because it is a little bit faster, but sometimes triggering it way too much, you may run out of bullet time that will carry on to other levels, and that might just fuck you up there because you will deal with enemies without bullet time. So just like that,
Dangerous.
roll into the doors to trigger the cutscenes. So yeah, the stairs jumps. What I do is I jump from the stairs to basically planes, just plain floor, because that way Max won't stagger. So just like that, roll, keep rolling. So now the blood trails. I'm pretty careful of where I roll and how I roll because they're very thin and pretty small, and you can easily fall from the blood trail. So before every roll, I like to quick save, just like that, right? Okay, so I'm careful here because I don't want to roll from the blood trail onto the baby cradle because sometimes Max won't be able to shoot if you do that. So I like to land here and walk or run to the blood trail or to the cradle because that way I'll be sure that Max won't soft lock and I'll be able to shoot this Max here. So the most important rule of this game is shoot the wife or get luck. It's not something I do for nothing. I do it in every run. Alright. So part 3, chapter 1, save glitch. So
Slowly.
in this chapter I will do the same thing as I did in Angel of Death. I'll keep quick saving into every cutscene that keeps playing. Sometimes it's camera changes that actually trigger other cutscenes that you will lose control of Max's camera. So, all right. So, skip this, reload, and proceed with the level. We have to pick up the sniper, and just as we come into the door, keep quick saving because more cutscenes trigger.
Which is blue.
So I shoot down there because that enemy notices a shot, and so he will follow me. Oh no, something went wrong. All right, let me do this again. What? Well, usually this enemy follows you somewhere, or follows where you shot. But unfortunately, he keeps on shooting me. So hopefully I can avoid his shots. All right. So that went a little wrong, but just with a little bit of damage, keep going there. So proceed with the level as usual. So we will perform a super jump here that I'm pretty bad. I'm doing pretty bad in health, so I'll make sure I duck that grenade just by being in that part of the little bridge there. I know that in that part the grenade won't get me, so just like that. Kill the enemies. So these enemies, a lot of them don't do much. That guy he wanted to throw a grenade, so he wasn't going to shoot me. So just like that, get all the enemies. Alright, here's a painkiller. So that grenade strat, that's pretty important to do because sometimes the enemies will get you. That gets you, gets a lot of damage on those enemies that are sometimes pretty hard to take out. So, just like that, I use a little bit of bullet time here to make sure these enemies die, and hopefully they don't get any hits on me. Alright, so, on these bridges, what I like to do is strafe, because that avoids shots from these enemies. And, so that way, you can get shot a lot on those bridges, but if you strafe, you can lower the chance of them shooting at you. So now I'll come into this door, and just as we open the door, that enemy's waiting for us. So we can jump over these streams of fire just like this, and if we jump just right, just correctly, it won't hurt you. So shoot the barrels there, drop into... Alright, so I forgot to explain this, but in this container, you have to be very careful that you get this weapon, the M79. We will use this for part 3, Dead Man Walking Glitch. You will see it later on in the Deep 6, the next chapter, right at the end of the level. I will shoot myself, I will blow myself up, and that will activate Dead by Walking 4 Part 3, kind of like in the same way that we did that with Part 2, blowing ourselves up. So yeah, continue. This, and now we will do another save glitch into this little panel thing. So it avoids a sequence in which the enemies, in which we have to avoid a lot of enemies. So just like that, spam F5, trigger this. So now we have control of Max in this cutscene.
An elevator titled
So these
D6 on the
guys.
screen. Somewhere on.
And we have another cutscene here.
Has-
This one's pretty optional, but you could get some forward progress here. Alright. So just like this. I guess it's like some friendly fire. That can happen sometimes. Alright. For this, for part 3, we will use that for a couple chapters before we, the game respawns, the game resets the value of Max's health and nothing to lose, so we lose the dead man walking. The game takes it away. So, just like that, basic movement there. Quick saving at precise times to, if we get killed, we can restart that part, and we won't have to lose a lot of time. So part 3, chapter 3, the Deep Six. Start at the level save glitch. I don't do this in my world record, but I found this a little bit later on. So this is a pretty specific one. You have to quick save quite a lot.
Following a path.
Just like that.
Following a path of clues to that final revelation, even if it would take me down to the cold, cavernous depths of a grave.
Another one here. So you don't have to shoot there, but at a very specific point, we will gain control of Max, and we will be able to move Max and run just like that. Get out of this little cell, and see if I get it, just like that. And so we're here. And we'll get shot a little bit there, but so just like that. Ideally, we want to shoot that tank, and those guys open the door for us and then die, and so we can move on. But that's nothing. So another save glitch here.
The chemist had been using the workstation when he died.
Hopefully, you can perform this before this closes, but I was a little bit slow there.
The half-life.
Another one here.
The half-life of the lab rat had ended. Fine. His password blinking on the screen.
Do a couple rolls there. So
Neighbor of the beast.
that second one's actually, or the first one and the second one, they're pretty important, because that way we can see where we're going. So just like that. Trigger the cutscene with the scientist. Now we're gonna take a little shortcut that will save us about 4 seconds. Alright, so we're supposed to escort the scientist, but we can take a faster route, and the scientist will hopefully already be there. Alright. So we kill these enemies, come back here, the scientist, we didn't have to escort him. So he will open doors for us. You can actually kill him there. Alright, so the door opens up slowly. So we move on with the level pretty normally. There's not much to do here. So you can jump on this laser and it will blow up pretty much all the other lasers. It's pretty useful. You won't have to avoid the lasers. So in this part,
The old woman had come and gone a long time ago. There was nothing more for me here.
What I'm gonna do,
His name was acting as a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I'm gonna shoot a laser, and the countdown, the operator is gonna start the countdown. So, open this up, shoot that laser, and start running. So make sure you get to the elevator as fast as possible, just like that. So the operator is counting down, and we're going to use this as a sound cue of where we want to kill Max or kill ourselves to get the dead man walking. Alright, so right about now is when it happens. When it says 13, 12, right about there is when we want to shoot, just like that. And then the cutscene will trigger. So right before the cutscene, we shoot the floor, we kill ourselves.
Piece together a jigsaw in the final picture.
You can keep reloading. You can keep reloading and attempting that if you don't get it. I got it first try. That was pretty good. So just like that, now we have Dead Man Walking, and this is a chapter that was pretty hard. That is pretty hard because you have a lot of enemies, but with Dead Man Walking, all of that is
bad cop on the take.
Pretty
a cowardly right-hand man
simply
fleeing from
gone.
the scene, leaving
So,
his paid thugs to do his dirty work.
just like that. So the most important thing to watch out for are death lines. This level has certain death lines at some points because it just doesn't want you to go too fast and doesn't want you to skip all that much of the level, so we have to wait. So as soon as the car starts falling, I start heading for the end. So, all right, just like that. There's another death line there. More death lines here. Wait for the car to shoot wait for the van to shoot the car. And just keep moving on. Alright. So here, the van will shoot. So if you don't get the super jump fast enough, you'll have to attempt it here. Otherwise the van will shoot you. Explosions there, you have to avoid them. They can also kill you. Alright. Most of these enemies, I'm just killing them for fun. Not really like in part 1, I kill enemies for ammo. I don't really need ammo from the enemies all that much. Do I have... I don't have dueling rings, but that's not a problem. Just like that. So now we get the grenades out, and we're supposed to have a boss fight that we completely kind of just skip with the grenades and with the fact that we have Dead Man Walking. So that, if you see the boss right there, I'm throwing grenades at him, and just like that, we throw grenades and he dies. So we can just run for the payphone here and end the level.
The payphone started
Just
to
like
ring.
that. Alright. So, in the land of the blind, this level's pretty hard in the sense that we have a super jump that's pretty deadly. If you miss, you can actually die and have to restart the level from there and just go back there, and that wastes kind of like quite some time actually. So if I had dueling rings, I could take these guys out quicker. Alright, so this super jump right here, we have to kind of turn around, look in that direction, get the super jump, and turn around as we get the super jump, and help yourself with bullet time to make sure that we land in here. So it's a pretty convoluted super jump. It does take a little bit of practice, and if you die, it's not really that big of a deal. You can just come back and retry it, but it is kind of like a disadvantage with dead man walking that you have to die and start from the and retry from the very start. So just like that, blow up this explosive. Shoot. I like to shoot almost all the explosives. Just to move on like that. So that's Land of the Blind done. Now Byzantine power game. We have a little bit of a strat here.
Now I was close. I had a name to guide me. Nicole Horn.
I call it the roll strat. So first of all, we have a couple super jumps.
Had quite a track record.
So right off the bat, you have a super jump, just like that. You have an enemy that's gonna block our way. Get him. Optional super jump, but pretty quick. So this super jump right here, if we miss it, we can't quick save. So if we miss it, we fall down here, we have to set it up again. So what I like to do, you see this little bookshelf, or this shelf, it has like 2 lines here. I like to stand on this line and attempt the super jump so that every time that I attempt it, I fall back on the shelf and I can keep attempting it so I can get it clean, just like that. So now we have another super jump and we're gonna do the roll strat. So this is pretty much the only time in the speedrun where we're gonna do a forward roll. So we're gonna select the baseball bat or the lead pipe, they both work. Place Max right there in this corner between the fence and the pillar. And we're going to do a forward roll by pressing W and shift, landing on that little pillar right there. And from that pillar, I'll do another roll and that'll land on the fence down there. So just like that. Make sure I land so I get bullet time there. And I land on the fence. So that's a pretty cool shortcut. It saves quite a lot of time there. Alright. So just like that. This would be a big gunfight that you just completely skip because you have dead men walking. So we just run to the end of the level. So as I mentioned earlier, we won't have dead man walking glitch anymore. So you can save glitch, just like that. Do this super jump. You can keep doing super jumps here, so that's pretty cool.
Colder than a walk-in fridge.
And you can do
cold as a gun.
You can do that super jump. This is pretty optimal. So you can knock off those 3 super jumps there, and that's pretty good because that's actually very, very fast. So this strat right here, what we're gonna run as we trigger the elevator, and we're gonna skip the comic strip and keep running just as we skip the comic strip, and that way we will enter the elevator without having to deal with the enemies that are gonna spawn. Just like that. We press the button. Alright. So we do it. Well, this super jump's kind of optional, but you can do the super jump and just proceed as usual, shooting the lasers. It's pretty helpful to see where the lasers are, but you don't want to spend too much time doing that super jump because these lasers can actually catch up with you. I recommend that you shoot the lasers with Cold Commando, pretty accurate weapon. If you do it with another weapon and you don't get them, then you can actually blow up very easily. So what we're going to do here, we're going to run to the room and we're going to trigger the control panel thing on the computer there, and we're going to start rolling to avoid all the enemies. And remember, we don't have dead men walking, so they will be shooting. What's this? So So just like that, I like to roll, and as I roll, I keep quick saving so that I make sure that I don't get, that if they kill me, I can reload back there, run to the right there. So hopefully I can get a super jump here, and so that I can access this elevator a lot earlier. If now that you can do the normal, intended way. So right as I run out this elevator, get headshots on these guys, shoot this guy, almost killed me, get the grenades, throw the grenades there, kill these guys, hide behind this wall, I'm here, shoot this guy, and press the button there. The reason why I hide behind that wall is because there are other enemies that can be shooting at me. If I stand in front of the elevator, there are other enemies that are right behind me that can be shooting at me, so I definitely want to avoid that. So during this elevator sequence, you can just kind of mess around, and
seen from this height,
you'll have to
the night
do
seems
2
to
more
stretch
super
on to
jumps
eternity.
that
A hint of desperation had crept
will
into the
skip
snowstorm. as
pretty
I
much
was
just
trying to get it all
enemy
out before
triggers,
the
and we
end.
can run to the end of the level. So just like this. This one skips a lot of enemies, and this one, let's see if I get it. We don't have to, basically skips enemy triggers and just going up the stairs there, so that's pretty good.
Horn's personal
So,
computer was
interact with the computer here. I'd like to get the Desert Eagle so that I can super jump. You can super jump with the rocket launcher, but I mostly just get the Desert Eagle because of habit. But so what I'll do here, I'll do a start of the level save glitch. And right as the level starts, I will super jump, and hopefully land where the Nicole Horn's henchmen are, and I can kill them all, so that I can skip the sequence of the helicopter shooting at Max. Pretty slow sequence. It's a pretty optimal strat. So just like that, Pain and Suffering. Almost forgot. So save glitch. I do a roll here and attempt the super jump. So this super jump, it is kind of hard because you have a different timing. Because you're in a cutscene and things are a little bit slower, you have a different timing for the super jump there. So that definitely requires some practice. So now we land where the enemies are. I'm going to equip the rocket launcher. Shoot the floor. Shoot this guy as I press E because I want to skip the death animation. So now some cutscenes are going to come here, and we want to save glitch into these cutscenes so that we still have control of Max. And we roll here, and you will notice the helicopter will start to shoot. So we skip all that, and we can just come here and attempt all the super jumps, just like this. Oh my god! Just got all of them first try. And this super jump's actually optional, but you can go there, and from there jump on here. And now what I'll do, I'll equip the grenade, trigger Nicole Horn here. Oh my god. And throw a grenade right there and trigger this. Oh, that was a little bit. You don't want to do it too high. You know what, that's good. And trigger the door there. We're basically triggering things that we were supposed to trigger earlier, but because we super jumped and we did a lot of save glitching, we just skipped altogether. Right. So just like that, we come here, throw grenades to kill these guys. It requires some specific timing, so it kind of does require practice. So just as we kill these guys, as you know, shoot the cable here, and this last sniper shot, and that ends the game. So, and that last sniper shot is when the timing completely stops. So that's, if you're going to time the runs, it starts from the first max movement from the part one chapter 0, the first max movement, and it ends upon this last sniper shot, or the last shot in the cable. Yeah, that was the Max Payne speedrun guide tutorial. Consider this a pretty up to date guide. Hopefully this is a great use, and if new, I will be attempting Max Payne again this summer. Hopefully I can get world record again. Sub 45 is what I'm aiming for, with some of the new strats that we have. Of course, the run is not completely perfect. It's not completely optimal. Time is still there to save. So, hope you enjoyed.
They were all dead. The final
That was
gunshot was
basically
an
it.
exclamation
I
mark
will
to
add
everything
this
that
to
had led to this
Speedrunning.com
point.
guides.
I released my finger from the trigger.
So,
Valkyr
that was
had
it.
been meant to be
I'll
a
review it
white-winged
right
maiden
now.
that
Let's
would
see
lift you to
how
a
it's turned out.
warrior's heaven, but it turned out to
So
be a one-way demon
thank you for
ride to
watching.
hell.